It's Chala here. Welcome to my face reveal. Welcome to my face reveal. My name is Chala and I run a YouTube channel, but... Fuck, somebody's coming.
Oh look, it's a new intro. This video is going to be about sports. Sports! My experience with sports, particularly basketball. So if you watched my previous story video, you might remember that I became a Skype celebrity of sorts and made some random friends and shit. And I met up with one of those friends in real life. It was someone I didn't know at all, but I also started actually actively talking to some of the people from there. And today's story is going to be about yet another real life meetup. But this time, it was gonna be different. We were both from the same country, just from different towns, and we had also been talking for a few months already. But the main adventure here is actually how I got to go to her town at all. I also mentioned that I was in a basketball club at the time, how I was an emo-looking guy that played basketball when I was 16. It was, I guess, unusual to say the least. But otherwise, I was actually one of the best players in our team. But let's just say the overall skill level wasn't very high in our team. Most of the people there were actually younger and smaller than me because a lot of the better players had left the team. The reason for that being that we didn't really play any real games against other teams. We just kinda trained on our own all the time and it got very dull. And you know, I actually didn't like the sport of basketball all that much myself, but my parents forbid me to leave the club unless I found some other sport to keep myself healthy and fit, which I thought was bullshit, but I couldn't really do anything about it. I actually really liked the fact that we didn't play any teams against other teams. Yeah, we didn't play any teams against other games, nice. Because I wasn't all that much into basketball anyway. Our coach, however, wanted to change things up and quickly find new players so that we could already start playing tournaments and shit. So because of this, he wasn't very picky with the new members. So one day, this new dude joins the club. I'll refer to him as Daft Cunt in this video because you see, Daft Cunt here was just like one of those stereotypical high school jock characters. I didn't think they existed in real life, but I was mistaken. He was a really good player, so the coach liked him, but let's just say his IQ was below average. Daft Cunt really didn't like that the coach thought me and him were of equal skill level. He had a really hard time dealing with that this emo-looking dude, that's me, can play as good as him and is also physically bigger than him. Like, I'm a taller than average guy. That's also part of the reason I chose to play basketball when I was younger. But like I said, he was like a stereotypical high school jock, so all the other younger team members thought he was cool and sophisticated as fuck, and they all wanted to hang out with him and be liked by him. He was always throwing some passive-aggressive remarks at me for no apparent reason, and when we were assigned to opposing teams when practicing, he was always tryharding to show how much better than me he was. So one day, our coach says we're finally going to be playing in a tournament soon. Everyone seemed to be excited about it, but me. I didn't really want to participate because I knew we were gonna get destroyed by other actual experienced teams, but I couldn't do anything about it once again. But the tournament was gonna take place in the town one of my better Skype friends lived in, so I thought it was a good opportunity for my second real-life meetup to take place. I was sure this time it was gonna be better because I actually knew the person and we were from the same country. So my coach breaks some hopes and dreams of some less skilled boys and chooses the 10 top players that will be participating in the tournament and 5 main players out of those 10 who will be on the field 90% of the time. The other 5 were just gonna be bench warmers who just go on the field when it's critically needed. Me and Daft Cunt, however, were amongst the main 5. And it was absolute bullshit because neither of us really liked cooperating with each other, and when something went wrong, he would always blame me, even if it was pretty clear that it had nothing to do with me. There will be an example of that soon. So fast forward 1 month. It's the first day of the tournament. We arrive in this town and take a look at the venue where our first real games are gonna go down. There's actually a fair amount of spectators there as well, so that was already the first red flag for me. Okay, our first game starts off, and we did okay for the first couple of minutes, but then we just get rinsed. We get completely destroyed, just like I had predicted. And the same thing happens the next game. At one point during the second game, Daft Cunt was in possession of the ball, and I'm open for a pass on a pretty good position. And you know what he does? He just throws the ball in completely the wrong direction, and then gets pissed at me for not managing to catch it. This retard threw it like 10 meters away from me and thinks it's my fault that the opponents got it instead. Before the start of the third game, he tells everyone on the team to not pass to me at all, because supposedly I am completely unable to catch the ball. And you know what's even worse? These guys actually believe him. They either really wanted to be liked by him or were actually just as stupid as him. I didn't even fucking know anymore. But, eventually they were still forced to pass to me because the coach started yelling at them during the game, but at this point it didn't really matter to me anymore because I had already lost my last tiny bit of hope left for the team. So after game 3, we get an hour of free time before heading on to some food place that the coach had booked to eat lunch at. Daft Cunt and the other cool kids went smoking behind the gym, but I thought this was a good time to meet up with my Skype friend. I messaged her saying that I have some free time right now, and I know she's actually free as well because it's spring break, and since it's a small town, she gets there with only like 20 minutes. Little did I know that this was gonna be the awkward meetup. Last time, I met with some strangers. I thought it was gonna be really bad, but it wasn't bad at all. This time though, like I said, I knew the person, we had been talking for a while, but it turned out to be probably the most awkward experience during my entire life. Like, I'm not even joking. I gave her a drawing as a little gift and she gave me a custom-made sketchbook in return, which was nice. I still have it to this day, but after that, we kind of just walked around completely silently. Just like the previous person I had met up with, this one also had a friend with her. I don't know why, maybe they thought I could be a pedophile or some shit, so that their friends could protect them if needed. Anyway, we just walk around and she quietly talks to her friend while I just walked beside them. I kind of just wanted to slow down my walking speed so that I would fall behind them without them noticing and I could just leave, but I didn't want to explain my behavior afterwards, so I thought, okay, I'll just try to take control of the situation and said, alright, why don't we go to the store? I'm exhausted from the games and need to buy some water. I think they were startled that I actually finally said something, but they agreed, so we went to a store and we finally talked a little. Like, it started from some stupid shit that wasn't and it evolved into some sort of conversation from there. But it was already too late because suddenly my phone rings and it's my coach, who is pissed at me because I had forgotten to look at the time and I was supposed to be back at the venue already where we gathered up to go to the lunch place, and we couldn't afford to be late because we had limited time. I was kind of shocked because he had never any reason to be mad at me before. I was the kid with the best behavior out of the group, so I basically just told my Skype friend that, okay, I gotta run now, bye, and sprinted my ass away from there. There's no way I would have explained to the team what I was actually doing out there, so I had to hide the gift sketchbook she had given me inside my jacket. It was constantly on the verge of falling out, so I had to stand in some weird-ass position, which made my disappearance even weirder to everyone. Thankfully, I managed to successfully hide it, until we made it back to our lockers. Anyway, after that, we just played 2 more games that we of course lost. One game did actually come pretty close though. It was against some Latvians that mocked us during the game. Not because of our shit skills, but because of the color of our shirts, which was red. They were all like, Manchester, lol, lol, lol. They were referring to the football/soccer team Manchester United. I think they might have been actually autistic or something. I mean, my team was actually pretty autistic as well, but not to that degree. Anyway, I think they might have been to that degree, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, after those 2 lost games, it was time to wrap up the first day, and we were taken to some student dorm house a few kilometers out of the town to stay the night. I don't know what the fuck kind of a dorm house is so far away from the school, but since it was spring break, no one was there but the owner of the place, who started lecturing us on what is allowed there and what isn't for way too long. Smoking was one of those not allowed things on the dorm territory, but these guys, they were just rebels and did it in the bathroom, where they also got busted. I think they had to run like 20 laps around the house because of that. But it didn't end there. When it was already past midnight, you know what they started doing? Daft Cunt and friends started drinking fucking vodka. I mean, how edgy do you have to be to even bring a bottle of vodka to a fucking basketball tournament? We had 2 more games to play in the next day, but they just went full edgelord mode and got completely drunk. We had to wake up at like 9 AM, and they were apparently okay with playing sports with a hangover. Maybe they were drinking away the team's big loss at the tournament. Well, anyway, I don't know how, but they managed to actually not get caught with drinking, so the adults never found out about it. They did get caught again with smoking outside in the morning though, and got their cigarettes confiscated. They deserve that, man. Well, at this point, we had no hopes of climbing up in the tournament bracket anymore, so we just lost the last 2 games horrendously. I really just wanted to quit the team after this tournament, so I just started skipping out all the time on the training for various excuses like too much schoolwork and such. I didn't have to see Daft Cunt much after that either, because he also started showing up less and less. My Skype friend luckily understood why I had to run off like that, and it really didn't do anything to our friendship, so it was all good. I really want to find out what Daft Cunt has been up to these days. It's been 4 years, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dead or something. Like, seriously. I hope you enjoyed this amazing sports experience, and yeah, rate 5 stars. Rate 1 star if you want to. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.